Hey guys, what's up and welcome to episode 1 of the Lean and Green series. I hope everyone's having a great week, and in this episode I want to talk about my thoughts on goal setting and what I believe to be are some good tips and tricks to reaching great heights both physically and financially. The best time to start making progress towards your life goals is now, and a few of these tips should help with restructuring. After that, we'll go ahead and check on the progress we made this week. So let's get into it. So last week we touched a little bit on New Year's resolutions. We're a little over 2 weeks into the year, and statistics show that only about 1 in 10 people have kept their resolutions at this point. This number will continue to drop as the year progresses. If you're one of the few who still has your goals going strong, congratulations. But if you're not, don't worry about it too much. You still got plenty of time in the year. A lot of people get caught up in the date, but really you can make any time frame work. You just need to make sure that if this year didn't start out too strong, then don't give up on it, set a new date, and go ahead and stick with it. First, let's talk about what I believe to be the most important aspect that will get you farther than any quick fix that you're going to see, and that is to take an aggressive approach to whatever you're doing. Many people are going to tell you that chipping away is going to be the way you want to achieve your goals, and with enough time, you'll be able to realize those goals. While there's nothing really wrong with this, you will see results doing this eventually. I think the better way to go about it is to go all in for an extended period of time. Alex Hormozi talks about this as going into a season of life. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to do it forever, but if you go all in for an extended period of time, you can see massively accelerated results. You also don't need to completely abandon all other aspects of life either. I still have obligations like school, my social life, my puppy, and a million other nuanced things that I'm forgetting about right now, but I'm just choosing to take a magnifying glass to the physical and financial areas of my life and really pay attention to it, so that way I know I'm progressing in a way that I'll be happy with a year from now. I was against this mindset for a while because slow and steady truly does wonders in areas like fitness and finance on average. I think there is an exception though when you're looking for exceptional results. To do this, you're going to need to put in a lot of effort up front. It's cool to take a nonchalant approach to my fitness and invest, the standard 10% of my income because it's better than doing nothing. But if I'm capable of doing a lot more, then why not do that for a while? I've adopted this approach in the past, but never for a full year, so I'm excited to see the results. Now let's talk about how we prepare. This is where I've fallen short in the past, and what I think is the hardest part initially, because it takes a lot of upfront work and setup. This is the part that's probably going to feel the most uncomfortable, at least it does for me, because you can overplan and overthink yourself into a grave if you think you're not going about something an optimal way. I like to allow myself a full day to find role models that explain their systems on social platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and then I try to make a plan that would emulate what they're doing while working around my own schedule. And then once I have a rough idea of what I should be doing, I try to plan out the perfect week with whatever tools I need. I use a mixture of Excel, Word, and then your friendly neighborhood ChatGPT. A small tip that's been helping me is Sundays I use for stuff like cleaning, planning, all the stuff that is easy to make the next week just roll in smoothly. Doing this lets you really keep the ball moving, so it's an important part to recap and kind of just make sure you're going in the right direction. Next, let's talk about execution. If you plan well, this part actually shouldn't be too difficult. It's just going to require work. Something I like to think about, if everyone's working but yields different results, then what are the variables that actually matter? To me, I think it's going to be planning and time allocation, luck, and opportunity. But without work, none of these other variables matter. An easy way to go about execution is to just gamify it. There's something hilariously true about the number go up mentality. So track your metrics, and over time you'll have fun doing this. Another thing I want to quickly mention is writing things down and posting it somewhere where you can see it every day really makes a difference. At least it does for me. But sadly, execution just comes down to getting after it. No one else is going to be able to do your goals for you. You need to be the one that's holding yourself accountable. I know you've probably heard a lot of these things before, especially if you enjoy the financial side of YouTube. A lot of times simple stuff that you already know is really the best recipe for success. Remember that even if you're taking a completely different approach to how you're goal setting, the important thing is to just keep the ball rolling. Don't quit on the things you truly want to accomplish. Next, I want to transition into the progress we made this week. Starting with the lean side, we hit 3 upper sessions and 2 lower, along with 2 longer runs and 1 interval session that focused on 800-meter repeats. I've been eating much cleaner over the past couple months, and I can see that I am leaning out But next week, I want to start tracking nutrition and weight fluctuations. I'll start writing out some of the workouts I'm doing for next week's progress so I can show what the split's kind of looking like. I also have the macros that I'll be working with to start my push down to 180 pounds. I had ChatGPT make me a tracker that'll make this easier to update, and the macros that I have set up to be done are going to be done over a weekly basis. I'll have a larger amount of calories on training days and a lower amount on rest days. Starting out, I'll be looking to lose about a third of a pound a week, and then I'll slow it up a little bit later. Right now, the calories on training days are set at about 3,000, and on rest days, just under 2,500. This will actually be the first time I'm tracking calories, so I'll expect a little bit of trial and error with the process, at least in the beginning. Next, let's move on to the finance side. This was a big week for the portfolio and crypto. We began this week with a balance of $3,202 and ended with a balance of $3,745. The most exciting part for me about this is going to be the dividend income growth. I went from basically nothing to $73 a year, which is pretty crazy to me. This is the number that I'm going to pay the most attention to, and it's the main motivator for my investing journey. We also had a 2.7% return when the market declined about 0.4%. This is an insane gain, and it mainly came from a few holdings, but the biggest one is going to be my holding from Realty Income that did very well. In total, I had $447 of my own contributions added, and we had a gain of $95. Crypto also had a large uptick of about 5%, with Bitcoin going from about 91,000 to about 95,500. In total, I added $140 in Bitcoin and $35 in ETH to my accounts, giving us a total of $622 in my own contributions, which isn't too bad from someone with an income from Uber driving. The total for all accounts sits at about $5,343, putting us at a little over 5% on the way to our goal. Next week, I'll need to pay off a few large expenses like a vet bill and car insurance, so it will likely be dialed way back in contributions, but that's okay. I'll be building out a tracker that can keep track of weekly progress for these accounts as well, so I look forward to that. Well, I think that just about wraps up this week's episode. Remember, guys, it doesn't matter when you start your goals, just stick to them and chase them ruthlessly. You'll thank your younger self for it later. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please drop a like and subscribe. You're making my dreams come true if you do that, and have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one.